I'm here with KevyVo, and I wanted to discuss with Kevin kind of how he got into engineering, both software and electronics, what motivated him, and what kind of internship he got from the experience, and how did he work on innovation at one of his internship companies. So, if Kevin, if you could start with what motivated you at learning programming in electronics.
Yeah, I didn't know what an engineer was all my life until I actually started university. I did my first Python class and kind of fell in love with coding. And then what happened was with my first internship I got, I had a turn remote and I wanted to build a project that didn't allow people to interrupt me from having home meetings. And because of that problem in my life, I got really invested into this project that I was building because it was a personal project that I wanted to build, and it drove me to make a doorknob that kind of like helped everyone out, managed like a bunch of things, and I also sought help myself, electrical engineering and mechanical engineering to build the CAD models and 3D print everything. Um, yeah, and I felt like with anything you can learn on Google, you have all the information now. Especially now, even now, I built that 3 years ago. Now you can do it with AI, and it's gonna be even quicker with ChatGPT asking questions. Yeah,
And to keep going, so what was your internship history?
so first one's always the hardest. I start from a blank piece of paper like everyone. Um, I first internship I got was I got really lucky. I went to Amazon Web Services, which is a really big company, and then I moved on to Tesla Motors, and I the first one I was working in Vancouver, Tesla Motors. I worked in Reno, Nevada, and then after that I went to a smaller company called. Leafy, which is like a small startup with like window blinds, and then it's like a three-person company. I just want to try it. It's more firmware, and then afterwards I wanted to do more Kubernetes-based stuff, which is Aviatrix, and they did a lot of more like containerization. And then finally after that I went to Apple, and at Apple I worked on Apple Pay, and I moved to London, UK, and then one more after that because I want to try kind of everything was I worked at a hedge fund in New York City. Being a software engineer, I lived there for a while as well.
So your latest internship is actually at Apple. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, well, at Apple, I had a great time, and I felt very privileged that I'm someone from Vancouver, Canada, and they're willing to take me to London. I was in London for 6 to 7 months, and in the UK, and everyone's really nice. I had a good team. I worked specifically on Apple Pay server or Apple Pay team, and what happened was on my team, my project was about learning about like KPIs and how traffic was coming in through the server and learning all that. So it was a lot to take in the beginning. But then there was a specific problem that I was given or kind of like notified and then allowed me to investigate further to find more findings about it was that um, we were doing an old way of tracking things where like it was more static tracking, and it's kind of old because it would hit just a flat line of like say 10 and maybe it would jump to 20, so it wouldn't really follow the trend line specifically. So we had to find like with nowadays use AI, and my project was just about developing an AI and or like kind of helping an AI to like follow this trend line and be able to be more accurately alerting instead of waking up engineers at 3 a.m. in the morning, costing a lot of money for the company. And when I was there, actually, my project was so well thought, and my managers helped so much and had a good support system that I was able to present to my directors, and they're actually now implemented into the system. So even last week I checked on them, and they said that they're still going with the system I was helping developing, and it's been great. And I felt like I was one of those intern projects that just got thrown out the window. So I had a great time, and I felt like I had a great value, and my experience there was really great. So
So Kevin, what are the keys to innovating in these tech companies for an intern to contribute to those innovations?
yeah, as an intern, generally, when you first come in, you are typically given a project, but sometimes like I've seen people that are interns that come with a fresh mind, they have more creativeness, and they were able just to identify things that people have seen every day, and they kind of like thought over, but haven't been questioned. And I've seen some interns that are able to like spark incredible ideas. Actually, an example is when I was interning at Tesla one time. there was an intern there who wrote the entire Model 3 assembly line. The whole production of it. That's what I heard from my managers. It was amazing because it's a whole like core infrastructure that's dependent on manufacturing these cars. Um, on top of that, I also think to be a successful intern usually is to have some autonomy and not ask questions, but to a certain point where there's a medium ground where you're not always just like haven't spent 5 minutes on a problem, just asking a question, to also like spending days and then just being locked. So I think there should be a middle ground where I spend an hour and then do everything I can and then report to manager to get further help, which is I think a really successful intern to be able to like self autonomy. And another one also is for just to be motivated in what you're doing and take the extra step as someone interning. That really provides a lot of success for internship success. Be able to like self develop yourself.